Hi guys, so I'm going to read the backup stories in DC Comics Presents number 27, 28, and 29. So I decided to make it separate because it would kind of distract from the Superman crossover, so I decided to just make it into a separate video compiling all three of them. So the first one's Congorilla. For Congorilla's voice, I looked on Wikipedia to see what nationality he was. Apparently, they say he was both Scottish and Irish. So, according to Wikipedia, I thought he was British at first. I'm going to do an Irish accent for Congorilla. But for years, famed jungle explorer Congo Bill risked his life helping others. Then one fateful day, he saved an African witch doctor and received a bizarre reward. A magical ring which, when rubbed, would transfer Congo Bill's mind into a powerful golden gorilla, while switching the ape's mind into the explorer's body. Now, whatever happened to Congorilla? So at this point, Congorilla had stopped the publication, I think, in Adventure Comics in 1962. So he first appeared in 1940. I haven't read his first appearance yet. And at that point, he was called Congo Bill. He's a really obscure character. But then I think in the 1950s, they made him into Congorilla. They gave him like a superhero identity. Originally, he was like an Indiana Jones type character. And then they made him into a superhero. But Bob Rosankis, writer. Romeo Tango, penciler. F. Chairmont, inker. Casper, letterer. Jerry Serp, colorist. Julius Schwartz, editor. And, another thing, too, Congorilla actually had a movie. It was a film serial, and it was called Congo Bill. I've never seen it, but it was released in the 1940s. It's kind of strange how that obscure of a character managed to get a movie, but that's just an aside. Darkest Africa. That's what they called it when Congo Bill began his career exploring the jungle continent. But the continent is not so dark anymore. Civilization has arrived and lit up the place. But perhaps not all of civilization is for the best. Look up! It is a sign! An omen from the heavens! We must follow it. It brings a message from the gods of old. How strange. Despite everything that progress has brought, there are still people who believe in ancient legends and folklore. This thoughtful young man is named Janu, once the protege of Congo Bill, and now a vice president of a large industrial firm, whose president is Congo Bill himself. And then they took off in trucks and cars, bicycle and foot, chasing the fireball. The old ways die hard, Janu, for everyone who understands what this industrial revolution has brought to Africa. There is another who believes we are trampling the sacred grounds of ancient deities, who will someday rise up in wrath and destroy us. Any thoughts on this fireball phenomenon, Mose? Somebody has made up a superstition to go with the fireball. It's been making the gossip rounds in the plant for weeks. The fireball supposedly heralds the coming of a silver gorilla, which will bestow power, wealth, and long life on all who bring it raw diamonds. Word from the mines is that workers are smuggling the precious stones out by swallowing them. There's something phony about this, men. Smelly is more like it. A con game played on the old beliefs. Well, it's not as common as in the dark days. There are still people who try to pull it off. Moz, call Ocantu downstairs. Have him assemble all the personnel in the quad, so I can talk to them.
All right, everyone. Let's have your attention, please.
I want to speak to you about the fireball which was seen last night, and the so-called legend that goes along with it.
But not everyone gives the boss undivided attention.
And the only ones who will benefit are those who have revived this myth.
Congo Bill speaks truth.
Bah! What does a white man know of African legends?
The silver gorilla! It is coming!
Tell us! Where? When? Listen! The silver gorilla has been seen on the outskirts of the city.
I know it. The legend is true.
We know it's a hoax, Bill, but look at them. Those fortune hunters want to believe it.
I'm open to suggestions, fellows.
We've got to go see this so-called gorilla. Confront it. Challenge it. Banaka, the gorilla god, asks who will be first to receive his blessing.
I will.
No, me!
How curious. There seems to be nowhere in the world that people are not vulnerable to a scam like this. Wealth, power, fame, or whatever, all for a suitable donation. Men, we've got to expose this racket. Any ideas, Bill? Sure. What better way to fight a silver gorilla than with a golden one?
And shortly, back at Congo Bill's office, 4 men who share the most bizarre secret of the jungle.
Secure the door, Janu. Then head back to that clearing.
Amazing. To expose a false legend, we bring back to life a true legend. Congo Bill rubbing a witch doctor's magic ring.
And becoming Congorilla.
Simultaneously, in the jungle some miles away.
Now to head for the silver gorilla's camp. Luckily, my own gorilla body was not too far away.
And soon, as the last rays of sunlight are filtering through the jungle foliage, a nice first collection, Mr. Gorilla.
We certainly suckered those superstitious fools. Kabani, this is the sweetest con I've ever pulled. With my connections in the States, we'll sell these rocks for millions.
Better put the mask back on, friend. You never know if one of the faithful has followed us. Besides, it will soon be time to welcome some more diamond donors.
The gorilla. He's really Fred Cantrell, a crook who is jailed in Nigeria for trying to steal the oil rights to tribal lands. Guess he couldn't wait to get back in business once he was paroled. I'll just have to make him sorry that he hadn't stayed in prison.
Shortly,
back to doing our thing, Kabani.
And back to doing mine, too. Fireworks. That explains the fireball and the other special effects. Now to use them against these con men.
Some minutes later, at the ancient stone altar, the blessings of 1,000 generations shall fall upon you, my good brother.
Oh, thank you! Thank you!
Suddenly, a golden burst of light.
Yeah! What is that?
A golden gorilla!
It's the gorilla god of my ancestral tribe.
No! He is a false god.
Ha! Look who's crying false god.
Is it not said, it takes one to know one?
Cantrell was a pro wrestler before he got into crime, so he knows a lot of tricks that even my gorilla strength can't overcome. But I've got to go through with this. My best bet is to let him take the offensive. And then... maybe I should have taken the first shot. He's so easier for the kill. He's leaving himself wide open for a surprise move of my own. Move 1, lift. Move 2, spin. Move 3, expose.
Look, the silver gorilla is a fake. So must be the witch doctor.
While the crowd is attacking those two crooks, I'll appropriate these raw diamonds and hide them till Congo Bill can turn them over to the authorities. That evening,
Congratulations, Bill. That was quite a show you put on.
You not only exposed those diamond cheaters, you made our people realize their ancient beliefs were superstitious nonsense. You helped us take another step forward along the road of progress.
if those swindlers have done their homework, they'd have realized there isn't room for two intelligent gorillas in this land. Besides, gold beats silver every time. Next, whatever happened to Johnny Lawman Thunder? So this Johnny Thunder in the next story is not referring to the Golden Age version from the Justice Society. This one is like a cowboy type character, has the same name. I have no idea why they have the same name, because I think the cowboy version was published after. So I have no idea why they use the same name, but if you guys can tell me in the comments if you know why, just let me know. But anyway, I'll skip to the next story now. Without a doubt, DC's longest running and most durable Western character was Johnny Thunder, star of All-American Western, number 100 to 126, and All-Star Western, number 67 to 119. When last seen, Johnny was on the horns of a dilemma. Now, Mike Tiefenbacher, writer, Gil Kane, artist, Casper, letterer, Anthony Tollin, colorist, and Julia Schwartz, editor, answer the question: whatever happened to Johnny Thunder? Gene Walker suspects that I am Johnny Thunder, deputy lawman, just as I suspect she is Madam 44, outlaw.
If I can prove that John Tate is Johnny Thunder, I'll be able to prevent him from stopping my Robin Hood-style robberies.
Late afternoon, some years ago, a school teacher and a lady photographer warily approach each other on Mesa City's dusty streets, when suddenly their thoughts are explosively shattered.
It's Silk Black! He's just robbed the bank!
They'll be shooting, Johnny. Better take cover, so I can secretly change to Madam 44.
Right, Miss Walker. This'll give me a chance to switch to Johnny Thunder. In the nearby schoolhouse, as teacher changes to lawman. Silk Black has had a vendetta against Mesa City ever since Johnny Thunder rounded him up. Seems like yesterday that I vowed never to follow in Dad's footsteps.
It's your father's wish that you follow him, the sheriff. But please promise me, John, you will become a schoolmaster and teach your pupils that books are more powerful than bullets.
I promise, Mother. A promise that forced John to reject Sheriff Tane's plea to
Give up this teacher business and become my deputy. I've had my heart set on it.
I can't, Dad. But Dad was getting old and couldn't handle everything by himself. That's why John donned a masquerade costume darkened his hair, and became a gunfighter. The only way I can keep my promise to Mother and help Dad is to adopt another identity. With his appearance and voice disguised, John played his double life well.
Thank you for saving my life, Mr.
Johnny Thunder. Now Gene Walker is jeopardizing my secret. But despite the risk, Silk Black must be stopped.
Let's go, Black Lightning!
Ground one. Johnny Thunder. Pfft, I got a score to settle with you, and you're a wide open target. Now if I take cover behind a water trough. Oh no! Madam 44 will be caught in the crossfire between us.
Madam 44! Get out of the...
Winged in the shoulder. Despite her unlawful methods, Madam 44 wants justice as badly as I do. But Sheriff Tane is not entirely convinced of that.
Okay, lady. You've tried one too many robberies in my town.
Sheriff, you've got me all wrong.
Sheriff, no, she's, blacking out.
Regaining consciousness a short while later. Hope they haven't gained too much time on me. I must stop Dad from gunning down Madam 44. And stop Silk Black from shooting Dad. Thunderation! With all this storm brewing, it's almost impossible to track in this grass. And when the rain starts, it will be impossible. Well, that's a relief. Silk's and Madam's trails lead into the hills, while Dad's picked up someone else's by mistake. Following the deteriorating trail, she doesn't see Silk Black as a bead on her. But then, I have the same advantage over him. Missed him! Pfft. At least she's being alerted to get out of the crossfire. Unfortunately, Johnny's shot causes a rock slide. Whoa, Black Lightning! This is as far as we go. It's a downhill race now, against tumbling rocks.
We'll never make it this way, Johnny. There's only one safe way to go.
What's she doing? Sure, got it. There's a river below. I made it. So did both horses. But she hasn't surfaced. Gulping down air, Johnny knifes underwater. There she is. Probably didn't make a clean dive. She's still breathing. God, I hope it's not too late. After what seems like an eternity, they make shore. Come on, breathe. Maybe I can help her get started. But breathing some life into her. But the next moment, even as life is regained, it is almost snuffed out. Forgot! Silk Black is still up there. We're sitting ducks out in the open. We're pinned down here, and he's out of range of our revolvers.
Wouldn't matter. Couldn't reload. With this broken arm.
Ha! Got the great Johnny Thunder trapped. Come on out, Thunder, and die like a man.
Listen, you can't reload, but can you shoot left-handed?
Yes, pretty good. But why?
Cover me. Keep firing up at him, while I go for my rifle.
But where is he? I can't see him.
Up there. Fix on his rifle. Flashes.
It's lightning. With luck, one will light Silk up. Now, Johnny! Now!
The rifle shot is followed by a crack of thunder, as Silk Black's limp body falls where it can never be found.
Ah!
As the driving rain washes the dye out of their hair, the realization of their dual charading slowly changes their expressions.
We, won.
Yeah, by working together.
I guess it will be difficult for you to cover up that bullet wound, won't it, John Tane?
Not as hard as it'll be for a certain photographer to explain her broken arm, Gene Walker. After recovering the stolen money and patching each other's wounds, the pair rides back into Mesa City, talking admirably, until... I'm sorry, Gene, but I'm gonna have to take you to the sheriff's office.
What? To the sheriff? But Daddy, she saved his life. Yeah, Daddy. Why'd Johnny Thunder do that to Madam 44? He knew she only stole from crooks. You said so, Daddy.
Well, you see...
Now, Charles and Becky, you know your father would never hurt me. But he did take me to Sheriff Tane, where he got his father to arrange a full pardon for Madam 44 from the governor. Soon after, your father and I were married.
Well, son, you've done your mother proud. And now that you've got your own deputy, I won't bother you any longer about becoming mine.
But Dad needn't worry on that score, because as long as he needs them, Johnny Thunder and Madam 44 will be around to help keep peace in Mesa City. Now remember, children, this whole story is just between our darling daughter Becky, our bouncing baby boy Chuck,
And Madam 44 and Johnny Thunder.
able to see in the dark, equipped with special infrared goggles to see in the light, and armed with blackout bombs to blind his foes. Sightless Dr. Charles McNider battled crime alone, and as a member of the famed Justice Society of America. Now, Bob Rozakis, writer, Alex Saviuk, penciler, Joe Giella, inker, Shelley Lefferman, letterer, Jerry Serp, colorist, and Julia Schwartz, editor, answer the question, whatever happened to Dr. Midnite? Memorial Hospital's medical supply room, authorized personnel only, where two men, unauthorized, are hot performing typical hospital functions. Alvin Miller, would-be narcotics dealer in search of free samples, and Dr. Midnite, sworn flow of criminals. Normally, this punk would be no trouble for me, but despite my infrared goggles, my sight is fading, which means it's time to put us on an equal footing. With a blackout bomb.
Hey! Who doused the lights?
It's far worse than I feared. I'm becoming totally blind, even in the dark.
Where are you, blasted? I'll wring your neck!
If he keeps on talking, I'll zero in on his voice. Or just as good, listen to him move around. And swing at things that go bump in the dark. Then, as the blackout fades, what's all the commotion here?
Dr. Midnite?
I know that voice. That's right, Officer Jensen. I'll leave it to the hospital personnel to make the appropriate charges against this would-be thief. I must be on my way. Luckily, I know the layout of this hospital well enough to get back here without revealing that Dr. Midnite can't see. Having a blind superhero and a blind doctor, would be too much of a coincidence. It's evident now that my infrared goggles are failing, even cutting off my natural night vision. This could mean the end of my career as Dr. Midnite, unless I can get some help from my old friend, an ophthalmologist, Dr. Gordon Ogilvy.
All right, Tim. Can you make out anything this time?
Something's appearing. Why, it must be you.
How do you see me? Clearly? In color? In silhouette?
Still sort of shadowy, but real sharp. I can see where you are. Make out things clear across the room.
That's fine, Tim.
Fine enough as far as I'm concerned, Doc. To take them with me and see my way around like I used to.
Oh, no!
Ring, ring, ring.
Not just yet, Tim. I've still got work to do on them. Hello? Charlie McNider! You old son of a gun! I was gonna call you.
I gotta have these glasses tonight. And if Doc ain't gonna give them to me, I'll have to take them.
The glasses I've been working on, Charlie. They're coming along great. Gordy? Gordy! Sounds bad. I better get over there.
And by the time Dr. Midnite reaches the scene of the crime, thankfully, my goggle vision came back, even if only for a while.
Near as we can tell, he was struck over the head with a club or bat.
Or a cane, perhaps, Lieutenant Burke.
You mean like a blind man would use? Could be, considering the victim was an eye doctor. But what could be the motive? There's no sign of any robbery. Nothing's missing as far as we can see.
Oh, but there is. Something you wouldn't know about. Gordy's seeing eyeglasses.
I appreciate your getting involved in this case, Dr. Midnite. Somehow you manage to see things we don't.
Yes. I've been pretty lucky, so far. Gordon Ogilvy and I went through medical school together, and I vow not to rest till I track down his murderer, even if I'm totally sightless by the time I bring him to justice. Later that night, in the sleepier part of town...
Hey, look it! Another tin cup!
Must be a friend of Timmy's. Came in to watch him lose the bet.
Timmy. That could be the Tim who Gordy was talking to when I phoned him.
You really think Timmy's gonna show? No way that bat could pull off such a tricky caper.
No way is right. If a guy with 20/20 vision couldn't swipe Potter's statue, there's not one chance in 1,000 of a blind man doing it.
A blind man, eh? But one with Ogilvy's special glasses could do it. And Potter's statue. That must be referring to...
That's why I bet Timmy a grand he never do it.
I sure wish I had some of your action. It's a sure bet.
Not that sure. I hear blind guys got special powers the rest of us ain't.
Really? Let's ask the tin cup that came in.
Hey, where'd he go?
Gentlemen, and we use the term loosely, you wouldn't believe us if we told you. But that tin cup, as you so snidely call him, is on his way to a rendezvous with the aforementioned Timmy. This must be the scene of the crime bet. Senator B.J. Potter's collection of sculptures. Inside the iron-gated mansion,
Blacking out this joint by cutting the power gives me the advantage over the Potters. While they're groping around for candles, I waltz in and take off with my prize. And who'd ever suspect Timmy the blind man of pulling off a job like this?
No one except a blind Dr. McNighter, masquerading in the persona of Dr. Midnite. I'm looking for you, Tim. What are you looking for?
Huh? Who's that?
The name's Dr. Midnite, the man who can see in pitch blackness. Not quite true. My night sight is fading again. Got to put him away fast.
Nobody's taking me in, sucker. I got too much riding on this caper.
A blackout bomb will blind him. What am I thinking about? This guy is able to see in the dark. Better than I can. Got to take advantage of the fact I've been able to see in the dark a lot longer than Tim. Ugh! There goes my night vision. And my advantage. Can't let that stop me. This punk is a killer. And I vow to take him in.
Huh? Still conscious? This time when I flatten you, I'll make sure you stay out.
Got to feel my way along the wall. Gordy told me his special glasses work like sonar, sensing shapes rather than actually seeing.
Playing hide and seek in the dark won't help you. I can see every move you make.
That's precisely what I'm counting on. Is following my every move.
There you are, Midnite. And this time I'm doubling up my fist power. Yow! My hands! I must have broken my hands!
What's going on here?
It's all over, Senator Potter. I suggest you call Lieutenant Burke at police headquarters and tell him to pick up Dr. Ogilvy's murderer. 2 days later, on a somber afternoon at the city cemetery. What a waste. Once perfected, Gordy Ogilvy's invention could have helped millions of blind people. But a foolish wager ruined it all. Hopefully, I'll be able to adapt the principle to my own problem. Combined with my infrared goggles, Gordy's seeing eyeglasses will enable Dr. Midnite to continue his fight for justice. Unfortunately, it will only work on someone with my peculiar turnabout vision, able to see in the dark, but not the light. Next issue, whatever happened to the Golden Age Atom? So that's the end of this video. So if you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll tell you when I can get it done. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.